Another Tuesday night, another edition of 11 Live. Welcome in, everybody. Last week, very busy. 2 wins on the bounce for the W League side to make it 3 in a row for them before they return home. No points for the men at home, but what an atmosphere you guys created. BYB was full. Stands were packed. Thank you guys for coming out. Please continue to support the guys at the mic. And we need you to bring that energy north as well to Grand Park as the W League home season gets kicked off. Home opener this Friday, 7 p.m. Against Racing Louisville. Biggest game of the season for us thus far. So our guest tonight is Trinity Watson, one of the newest additions to our W League roster. Trinity, welcome. And new to Indianapolis. So you, like me, experienced the Indy 500 for the first time just a few days ago. I know that's kind of not soccer related, but what was your experience like at the race?
It was definitely different from what I've experienced before, just because I'm from the West Coast. So it was really cool. I definitely would go again. But yeah, it was exciting, fun, had a good time. So
had you heard about it before? Was it like even on the radar of like a thing that happens?
No. So I don't think I really knew about it until I was kind of in the area, and I heard people talking about it, and I was like, oh, like what's that? Like kind of sounds fun. Like, kind of I want to find some fun things to do while I'm here. And when I was in Kentucky recently, I went to the Kentucky Derby. So that was, also something I kind of checked off my bucket list. But
which one was more of a spectacle? Which one would you go back to first?
Tough one, because they're both just really different. I would probably say the Derby, just because I feel like, there's time in between races, and it's kind of like I think with like the dirt or the Indy 500, it was just one long consecutive race, and it's kind of just the same thing over and over. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I would probably say the Derby.
No, for sure. I think some Indy fans might try to convince you in the next couple months to come back to the.
Hey, they can go ahead and try. Yeah, they can try.
So you graduated from Pepperdine after 5 years in December, so about 6 months ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
5 seasons there, multiple time first team all conference. So what's interesting though is as you look down the Pepperdine roster, is you're listed as a defender and a forward. And from my time calling college games, that is pretty unique. So how would you sort of describe your game and your style of play?
Yeah, I've had a very interesting career thus far. In my youth career, in club, I was more of a striker, the 9 winger, and I got to college, and I still played that my freshman year. And I think something happened with, the recruiting class below me, and they were like, oh, okay, we need someone to kind of step into the center back position because one of the seniors were graduating. And they kind of looked at me, and I was like, what? Like, I've never played there. And it was some big shoes to fill. So I think I kind of just went in and was kind of learning on the fly, which, I like to do. I like to adapt, and I like a challenge. So took that on and stayed there pretty much my whole time at Pepperdine. And, I would say it's definitely different. I don't think I'm a true center back just because I feel like I'm more of a risk taker. I like to go forward. I like to, make plays. So I think, it might not be the true position for me, but, I think I went in there and got the job done and, helped the team out and kind of did what the team needed at the time. So.
Well, yeah, you can tie it to. I mean, I've only watched you play once now, and I think I've seen you cross the halfway line with the ball with a player on your back probably 5 or 6 times in those 90 minutes. So you can kind of see that instinct is definitely still there, and that's definitely a tough change to make in college. What was sort of the split like? Were you primarily playing in the back, or how often were you allowed to play as a true striker?
Yeah, I was primarily in the back, I would say, for most of my career. A little bit towards, my senior year and my 5th year, they started to utilize me a little bit, maybe like last couple 10, 15 minutes of some games, if we were down or if we needed a goal, which was, a little bit of pressure, but kind of like the pressure. So that was kind of how they utilized me, which was fine, but I definitely would have liked to get some more minutes up there, which you might see, this season here. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, game 1, Maisie played center back, and then she scored 2 goals. And so Paulie was like, well, I guess we might have to put her up top now. So we might see that same thing happen twice in one season.
Yeah.
You've been, chasing that pro contract for the last 6 or so months, and within that, a couple stints with Racing Louisville's NWSL side, San Diego in there as well. What are some things you've learned in these past 6 months while you're kind of chasing after that pro contract?
I would definitely say it's more of like a learning curve, especially like your first year, kind of trying to get yourself, put into the league. And it's definitely tough, just because I, was coming from receiving a bunch of accolades in college, starting and playing 90-minute games to pretty much being at the, bottom of the rankings. And it was definitely a tough pill to swallow. But I think I learned a lot of things that have helped me even up to now with, kind of humbling my game and just learning from some of the best players in the world. So I think it's been a really interesting experience. I've learned a lot, and I definitely I don't regret, what I've gone through so far.
For sure.
Probably
That's
well
an interesting kind of mentality piece too, to keep confidence in yourself, but understand, being a realist at least, and realizing, you're not going to step into an NWSL side and be the top scorer in the league. So how do you sort of traverse kind of balancing those two things?
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult, I think more mentally than physically. Just having to, adapt and adjust, and there's constant change. And, I've been in Kentucky and now I'm in Indiana. So it's like you kind of just have to be really open-minded and kind of trust the process. But I've enjoyed it. So definitely builds character.
A similar situation to a couple of the other women on the team too. I know, Katie's doing the same sort of thing. Sam Dewey's been over in Europe and is just come back from a long-term injury. What has sort of your take been on the talent level and the compete level you've seen within the squad in your short time here so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I really, really enjoy the environment. High level, competitive. Everyone's, trying to get better, and it just makes everyone else better when you want to get better. And I really enjoyed it. The girls are great. They've been really welcoming as well, which has been awesome, because I know that's definitely been kind of a tough part of transitioning and having to, move from place to place. So I think it's been great this far. It's a great group of girls, and ready to get that dub on Friday.
I'm sure you saw the USL Super League news that we announced having a pro team in 2025. I'm curious, even just with the announcement of that entire league. I know that obviously there's only 12 pro teams for women in the United States. That is going to double that number, if not more, in the coming years. I'm curious, I know you can't speak for everybody, but as someone who is kind of in that situation right now, looking for a pro team, I'm curious about your mindset, maybe with how that might change it. Of maybe instead of going, I know you mentioned maybe going to Mexico, a lot of women go overseas and try to play there. How does this league maybe sort of change that, if at all?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's great that the women's game is evolving and kind of providing more and more options, as the years go by, which is great. I know it's really difficult to play in the NWSL. There's not that many spots. I know what the draft class is only how many picks? There's like 50. So, it's limited. And I think just creating the second league gives, girls more hope and more motivation. And I'm really excited for it. And I'm eager to kind of see where it goes. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned getting that dub on Friday. You get to play in front of the home fans for the first time. I don't know if you've seen the scenes of what it was like last year, if you heard it all from the girls on the team, what the support like, but I guess just your excitement level of being at Grand Park in front of the BYB and the home fans on Friday.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see how the environment is. I mean, I know even at some games that we've previously played in away, we even had some of the fans come out and support us, and I think that's been awesome. And even just seeing that energy there, I can't wait to see how it is at home. And I've also never played in an indoor stadium, so I'm really excited. It's going to be different.
Yeah, it's funny today at training, Paulie saying, I'm not talking today because you're not going to be able to hear me on Friday. So you guys going to talk to each other on the field.
We're going to have to scream at each other on the field.
Yeah. So. And then who knows if you'll still be able to hear each other.
Yeah. I've never experienced anything like it. So I'm trying to be as open-minded as possible.
Yeah. Can't wait. It should be awesome. You haven't been in Indy too long, but have you found any, local watering holes or places, hidden gems maybe you've liked so far, whether it be food or recreation, anything along those lines?
Yeah, I've been to a couple different cafes. I think I went to Java House actually. I heard from some of the locals that's a pretty popular coffee spot. So I love coffee. So I definitely wanted to give that a try. It was good. It was really good. I liked it. I would definitely go again.
Definitely a good area to kind of live as a young professional.
Yeah,
I can relate to that as well. So,
yeah.
Trinity, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you on the field on Friday. Like thousands of our fans will be able to for the first time in person.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
For sure.
Always,
We'll
always
see you
love to be
soon.
here.
Yeah. All right. Next Tuesday, 11 Live is going to happen again. Surprise, surprise. Very busy month of June. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our socials. And especially this week, should be some exciting things on there. A double game week on Friday, and maybe wink, wink, something else in the next few days. So we'll see you next week again on 11 Live.